And we are back after that weather delay. Welcome, everyone, to the Anime Secrets Declassified JoJo's Bizarre Adventure podcast. I am your host, joined today by the Anthony Davis and the Connor, the Iron Chef Healy.
I've never been a thug before, but okay, I like it.
What's going on, folks? Today's secret ingredient is bell pepper, which we have on some beef and chicken skewers.
Personally, I like when you hollow out the bell pepper and then stuff it with some delicious cheese.
God, that sounds so good right now.
Oh, but enough about our culinary choices. We need to talk about some JoJo. And today's set of episodes were some pretty interesting ones. One amazing fight, some backstory, and a scene that made me feel some feels. But we start with Doppio.
My favorite boy. He's such a good boy at being bad.
Indubitably.
That something was up with that boy.
Those freckles. It's the freckles and his attitude and how bright and cheery he is. And then he immediately snaps the switch and is evil at the same time as being sweet boy.
Mm-hmm. Man.
You just want to pinch his cheeks and smooch his little forehead.
Nah.
And just be sure he doesn't stab you.
Yeah.
Repeatedly. And don't stop.
So yeah, really weird stuff. Araki draws babies weird, and Araki babies always make me feel uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since Death 13, I've never looked at babies the same way again.
Death 13 taught me the most important JoJo's rule: never trust a baby.
Never ever. So, this episode gave us a little bit of backstory on the boss, and evidently he was basically born through an immaculate conception. What the heck was up with that backstory?
Yeah.
It was a little bit odd. His mom was pregnant for 2 years?
In prison.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe it was the effect of a stand, perhaps. I don't know. It would make sense.
King Crimson, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he had a stand at the point of development or something. Because maybe his will was just that strong. Because stands are a reflection of willpower.
Mm-hmm.
And forgive me if I'm speeding up. I'm not sure. I can't remember if we've mentioned at this point about the stand arrows.
We don't
specifically. Okay, so I am getting a little bit ahead of myself.
Yeah,
but we know, as mentioned by Pulpo, that those with resolve are rewarded, i.e., those who have strong enough willpower to survive getting stabbed with the arrow.
But we don't know the full backstory.
Yeah, we don't.
We got a little bit way to go before
we know at some point the boss got a hold of said arrows. Otherwise, Pulpo would not have had him to initiate new gang members into Passion.
Whether
we know he has them.
Now, whether those arrows had anything to do with him at birth, I don't know. I suspect maybe he was born with a stand, and maybe he has just such a weird, crazy willpower that he just had a stand at birth.
Yeah.
That seems like the most likely thing to me, and maybe that stand was like, I'm going to delay his development to make him even stronger. I'm going to incubate him longer.
That's a big possibility.
That's just a theory I have. I think it's definitely within the realm of a stand's power.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shit, we already dealt with Notorious B.I.G., and in this case, unlike reality, we have a Biggie that's never going to die. Well, Biggie will never die. He will always live on the streets and in my heart. But that aside...
And in the ocean.
Yeah, no. Mm-hmm. So, we have stands that are technically immortal.
Mm-hmm.
And so it totally makes sense there'd be a stand that can control whether or not something is born or not.
Mm-hmm. No, like I said, that backstory was strange. And as he kept growing up, he had the psycho tendency that all our beloved JoJo antagonists have. Buried his mother underneath his floor, mouth sewn shut, but still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Just a weird backstory for the boss, but we see to what lengths he will go to keep his identity hidden from others. If a village has got to go, village has got to go.
Yep.
So
yeah, we see almost right away just how hardcore and nasty this kid is, and it's like, I think it's kind of funny that he's already like freaking almost Emperor from Star Wars evil.
Right.
He just has a Darth Vader way of showing it right away. He's a bad dude. That's what I love about Araki. When he makes his villains bad, he makes them bad.
Like terribly bad. Like not in the bad.
Yo, we're just like part 5 is like, yo, we're just gonna do some like crazy, nasty, like Clive Barker shit.
I was gonna say, I don't think we've had a villain in this entire series that you're like, I could see where they're coming. No, they've all been, like you said, just straight up bad.
Maybe Dio real early on, because of how his father treated him. Just when he was like 12, but before he just like, flipped his lid and decided to become evil.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that one, but man, like, yeah, I don't think we've had a single basically redeemable villain at all.
No, absolutely not.
Which is super nice to have. Like, having someone just to completely root against, like, F you, you're going down, like, and giving us cause to like actually hate them is.
What about what about 2 out of the 3 Pillarmen?
I mean, Wamu's honorable warrior.
Yeah.
AC/DC's just a troll. I mean, after he
I saw those two as typically your mid bosses have the like redemption factor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like Bruford.
Yeah, Bruford had redemption
and all them.
But we're just talking about like main bad guys.
Oh yeah, well yeah, until they're all freaking evil.
Oh yeah, so it's like nice to just, like I said, straight up be like, yeah, you're going down. Like actually root for the heroes and not have any of this BS. I'm actually rooting for the bad guy. # Team Thanos. Like, no. Why do you want to root for the bad guy? That makes you edgy.
You can root for an antagonist because the antagonist is just there to get in the protagonist's way. So like Vegeta, he was an antagonist, but he wasn't an ultimate villain.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So these ultimate villains in JoJo's, as we've seen, just ruthless, unredeemable goals in mind that they'll do anything to achieve. Mm-hmm. Which, as we've seen so far, and we'll keep seeing on with the boss, like the means he'll go. Like a fortune teller was just telling him things that were gonna happen, and then the boss just offs him.
Yeah, and the fortune teller didn't even know until he realized.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you get for being nosy.
Yeah. It was the whole time strange watching him like kind of Hulk out like that, and it's I'm wondering, like, is there part of his stand that's locking that part of him away? Is he shape-shifting? Is he disguising himself? Like, what exactly... How was he able to do some of that?
Oh, yeah.
Split personality?
Like a Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing?
Kinda.
Which I think most of us know where this is going. Like, this was ruined for me in the freaking All-Star Battle opening.
Oh, yeah.
Which I can't wait to see how they animate that part. But that's getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. But I feel like this is more of a Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if the stand was doing something to, like, disguise him, or if he's just like, oh, now that I'm turning evil, I'm just gonna Hulk out.
Get swole, baby.
Yeah.
So after he deals with the fortune teller, he starts making his way down to the coast where Bruno's crew is set to arrive in. But we also have to remember there's another person who's both after Bruno's crew and the boss. And we meet the boss of the Assassin Squad, Risotto. And man, oh man, I have seen some slick designs. This is good. Like, really, really good. Like, this isn't even getting to a stand. Just like the way he comes across, like, you could tell this is the main guy of an assassin crew.
He's like a goth Terminator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see it.
I mean, he's got the red eyes of like, I'm talking 1984 original Arnold Terminator.
Oh yeah.
Because, like, he's got the red eyes and the cold, like, almost monotone way that he speaks. Like, just almost mechanical precision with which he carries out his duties. Type of thing, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And, you know, this episode kind of ends on a bit of a cliffhanger as they're about to start fighting. And that moves us on to the next episode, King Crimson versus Metallica. Just by that title alone, you know you were in for a dope episode.
Mm-hmm.
And, man, I'll let you guys start off. What did you guys think about this fight?
I love how graphic it is because you see everything. The blood coming out of, like, the razors coming out of his mouth, the scissors, it's just so detailed, and I just love that.
I was surprised they showed that.
Yeah.
They didn't do a midnight slot.
Mm-hmm.
Usually when they show really graphic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like Hunter x Hunter, they had to do that for the Chimera Ant arc. Because that's a really graphic art with some nasty stuff that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And really, really dark themes.
Mm-hmm.
JoJo's, they show this nasty, gory, very bloody, intense, body horror fight. And they didn't, blur or black anything out like they've done with some of the other stuff.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's surprising. Like, I was shocked I saw some of it. I mean, there were still some pretty blacked out things, but
it wasn't very noticeable, really.
No, yeah. not as noticeable, but still blacked out, still edited, but like, oh my goodness, Metallica. Like, I knew when my friends told me his stand name, I'm like, okay, this is gonna have something to do with metal, but like, once you get in range of him, he's able to turn the iron in your blood into any kind of metallic objects. It's just, the body horror continues in this series, folks.
Yep, anything you can make out of iron. Ugh.
Oh man, and poor little Doppio, man, he was getting wrecked for a while.
He was.
And the worst thing is, he knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, you got to give the boss this. I don't know, like I said, if it's a Jekyll or Hyde thing, which I think, or he's just using the body as a host. He went through some pain, like losing body parts, just constantly getting stabbed. Not just that, but he's turning, like, you're losing blood from the inside as well. Like, he's taking your blood away as well. So
He's bleeding him out. He's taking the oxygen out, or no, he's taking the iron out of his blood, so it's turning yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So he's like hitting you in two different ways.
And thus he's not able to absorb oxygen. He's like not able to really breathe.
Mm-hmm. Man. It was definitely a fight that I gravitated towards, and I just like kept waiting for what's the next move, what's gonna happen. And like, words cannot do this fight justice. Like, it is easily in my top 10, close to top 5 fights in the series. Like, it was that good.
Yeah, this is the one that one of my friends kept hyping up, saying, dude, you were not going to believe this shit when you see it. You were not going to believe it. You gotta see this. I really can't wait to see how this turns out. And they were right. Like, wow, I didn't see that coming.
Mm-hmm. Now, the one thing for me, I like the fight, I like the build-up. The ending, I could see how it worked out, but not so much in this part, because towards the end, the Doppio is just able to bait out Risotto. Throughout the entire thing, Risotto is always going about how you need to be calm when you're going in for the kill. You still have to kind of keep yourself out of distance. You have to do it, not get excited, do it as a business thing. But here towards the end, like, the fact that he's about to avenge his fallen comrades, he's getting excited, he's breathing heavier. The coast that they were at, that's where Bruno's crew was coming in. And before he can go for the kill, just Narantia's Aerosmith just gats him down.
That was so satisfying. Oh my god, when it happened, I was just like, oh, my boy coming in!
Not just that, but like earlier in the fight when he...
For you sports fans out there, it gave me the same feeling during the Super Bowl, the year, I don't remember the year, but the year the Seahawks won. And it was when friggin', oh god, not Richard Sherman, but...
Was it a pick six?
Oh, what's his name? He did the interception.
Yeah, interception for a touchdown.
Yeah, he plays for the Raiders now.
It wasn't Chancellor, was it?
Nah, it wasn't Chancellor.
I know it wasn't Sherman. Was he the same one who played for the Patriots for 1 year and then left after they won a Super Bowl? Regardless, you got that feeling about just...
I got the same feeling of, oh, what a steal! Because it was an interception that went to a 55-yard touchdown.
Yeah, that... And the way he set it up, too, it wasn't just a stroke of luck. Earlier in the fight, he threw knives just at a random direction, and Risotto's like, I'm not even there. But that knife throwing was the tell he needed to get the attention of Bruno's crew, thus sending Aerosmith out there to like see what's going on. Because to them, anyone who's at that coast right now could very well be an enemy, because they are being chased down. So they see knives, They see something breathing. They put one and one together. They're not taking any chances. And oh man, that was
Such genius.
4D chess if I ever seen it.
Like, my God.
And honestly, we went from like the highest of the highs, but oh man, next episode we went to a low. And not in the episode sucked, more like emotional low.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. Oof.
Yeah. But before we get to that point, the fight between the boss and Risotto isn't over yet.
Not quite, because Risotto is tenacious. He's still holding out.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm not dead yet.
No, because the boss wants the iron back in his body so he can actually breathe. Because right now, the boss isn't, or Doppio, like at this point, the boss manifested himself from Doppio into the boss because they blacked out his face and everything. He wants the iron back because I need to breathe. But Risotto had one last trick up his sleeve, and that was I'm trying to remember if it was his foot again, or no, it was his blood on Aerosmith that he turned into a stand, bringing it back to himself.
Yup, that was it.
And so Risotto's like, "You're weak. I'm gonna take you down with me right now." Planning on them getting both shot, but this is where a little bit of confusion for King Crimson comes for me, because I know that it basically works like he edits out time essentially. He moves forward ahead.
He erases time and skips, and he's just like, okay, that time is gone.
Yep.
But I didn't think that also gave him kind of intangibility during the erased time, because he was still in front of Risotto when the bullets were coming. So by all means, the bullets should not have flown through the bot, or should not have flown through the boss, not causing him any damage, and hit Risotto. Like, by all means, the bullets still should have hit the boss. Doesn't matter if you're erasing time or not.
He's moving in the same instant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's where
just works.
Like, that's what threw me off. I'm like, okay, I know you can erase time.
Well, so what he's doing is he's seeing into the future while he's doing that. So he's seeing into the future. He's like, okay, these bullets are going to hit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another move where I move at this exact second. Because he's probably, before making his attack move or his dodge move, like before we even get to the point where he's out of the way and the bullets hit Risotto, he's probably already been like, oh, I just did 1 second. Or like he looked forward just long enough to know what the next move was going to be. So he could set it up.
Gotcha. Like, that was the only thing.
Because he was able to do weird after image stuff with Bruno. And he did that deliberately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but with Bruno, it was like more than 1 second had passed with Bruno. It was like 6 seconds. And this one, it was just like a split second.
Yeah.
I'll go with it just works. And I'm cool with that. It just like kind of threw me off.
I wasn't paying enough attention to notice it.
Right. It was one of those things where I'm like, it works. It worked. And Risotto got gadded once again, and this time died. Dunsville. So at this point, Abakio is trying to recreate the person that took the photo with Moody Blues. So he's doing all that. The boss is just kind of crawling, trying to find something so he can go back to his Doppio form. Because again, Iron taken out doesn't immediately come back in.
Nope.
And man, I didn't realize the boss had a fondness for French cuisine with the frogs. And man, being a frog in these past few episodes, not the best.
I mean,
not the best.
Hey, all sorts of folk like frog. I can tell you, I was in a pawn shop one time and there was a fella talking about, well, yeah, I'll go up in the pawns in Monroe and I'll shoot them frogs with a 22 and I'll take some home and fry 'em. And that's like a town that's 20 minutes away from me, and I live just north of Seattle. So,
hey, like I said,
yeah, no. So he gets some good eating, eats his telephone.
Mm-hmm. We here at Anime Secrets do not judge you on your cuisine choices.
Hey, man, like I said, frogs is good eating.
Frogs is some good eating. Boss approved.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So he noms the frog, gets some blood back in his system. Protein's up.
The boss is telling him his next move because at this point, Bruno and Naranci are both chasing him.
Yup.
While Giorno and Mista are kind of keeping vantage point, keeping an eye out on Abakio because he kind of has to stand still. He can't really go too far out of his stand's range to create the image.
Well, yeah, and that was the thing. The thing we didn't really go over was the whole reason Doppio was getting his ass kicked and taking all of these hits was because he had to get within range. He had to get within striking distance for King Crimson.
That is true.
Or within striking distance for the ability to be activated, so the plan worked.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it's all about getting within range with him.
Right, because I don't remember from the stat line, but King Crimson, like most of the final boss stands, has limited range. But once you get in said range, whoo boy, you best be ready for a whooping.
Get destroyed.
And so they're following this trail of blood, which you think is the boss's. Who else can it be? And they track it down to, I believe, behind a rock. And so when Bruno Sticky Fingers opens the rock, more body horror. And
it's the children.
It's a child.
Oh yeah, no, they're. Hey man, ice cold gangsters.
Yeah, as the boss says, only the results matter. Nothing else. And so, while this is going on,
honestly, it kind of reminds me of old, like, 70s, 80s grindhouse horror movies. Because, like, you'd see stuff like this, and it'd be like, oh no, the child was turned into a zombie, and now they have to blow the zombie kid's head off. Or, like, the mom gets eaten by the zombie children, or whatever, some, schlocky thing like that. There's some real nasty, amazing horror movies.
I want to
look
say
up Dario Argento and Lucio Fulci if you have the time.
What is this with Italians and horror?
They love it and they do it very well.
Yeah.
As evidenced by the boss here, because that little kid's head was...
Yeah, that was just like, damn, you're really not wasting any time, are you? You're just going whole hog. You do not give a shit.
And so Bacchio is helping this group of kids get a ball down, much to his annoyance, because he'd been ignoring them for a while until he's to the point of like, you know what, Hef it, here's your ball. And as the kids are running back saying thank you, oh, the donut.
Oh God.
Blammo.
Well, at least he knows how Kakyoin feels.
Homie got Krispy Kreamed.
Yeah, man.
That was rough to see.
So we get a small glimpse at what I'm guessing is Purgatorio, or Purgatory here. Because the boss is in an uninhabited area at a cafe.
You said the boss? No, it's Abakio.
I mean, Abakio. My apologies.
Okay.
So he's at a cafe, and, we see a policeman, searching for fingerprints. And, eventually Abakio gets the truth. Like, this is his partner.
And he's like, wait, that can't be, because, the partner died. And it's like, oh.
The partner is here to guide him to the afterlife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he finally gets that closure, which is really nice.
And, man, can I say, the way Araki handles main character deaths is, I feel like it's second to none right now.
Right.
Because even though Abakio was, by all means, a giant prick, like Giorno so much as breathed and Abakio just like lost his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still felt something,
Oh yeah.
To me, this wasn't quite on the level as some of the other deaths, like Kakuin's, Caesar's, even Shigechi's. Because there's some lovable quirk about those guys, but Abakio was straight up a jerk. But then just the way Narantia was in denial.
That tore me up. I was like, oh, man.
Yeah. Because I love Narantia and the fact that he just could not accept it.
Yeah. Like, just everything about it. And then Bruno biting his lip down so hard he just starts bleeding from it. Like, man, the way they handled us is will always draw some kind of emotion out, which I love. But yeah, no, the way they get him, or not get him, but the way they can just like twist your heart to like kind of feel something, like it's always done well. And
one thing that also got me was the fact that he still like. Him freaking out still didn't stop, because even though he's realized that he's gone, he's like, no, Abakio wasn't gone. And like, no, Naranchi, he's gone. And then it sets in, and it's like, well, we can't just leave him here.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Like he's not. It's like I can't let go of this. He can't let go of this grief that he's feeling, and he's such a good, like, I love him so much as a character.
Man, and like I'm saying, like we have walking zombie Bruno right now, and I'm not prepared for when he's eventually gonna go.
Yeah.
Like, man, we are in for last few couple episodes, because this was the 27th episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like we only have about 11 or 12 left to go. We're nearing the end game, man. But before we move on, he finished, like, Moody Blues finished reconstructing the person who took the photo and just straight up headbutted their face into the wall.
Yeah.
And so with
golden, very accurate stone impression of it too. It's not like, oh, it's some weird facsimile. It's like, no, it's like it was. It's like you molded his face in there. Like it's completely 100% accurate.
And so his death wasn't for nothing. They got the picture of what the boss looks like. And as they move on, we see Giorno turn the body into flowers. And then Abakio's spirit just like, can I just say how beautiful that ending shot was?
Oh yeah.
The flower bed and then Abakio kind of laying down peacefully.
Yeah.
Like that was
David Pro really knows how to put its work in
Oh yeah.
for
And I
scenery
think
shots.
that was actually a manga panel as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. Like it was a good brought to life. But as we wrap this up, what did you guys end up thinking about this batch of episodes? This little Doppio arc, his introduction, his fight, his overall mission to what he felt like was completed.
Absolutely beautiful.
Very beautiful.
Doppio, one of my favorites. Had me on the edge of my seat the whole time. Great fight. Very, very nasty. Very intense. No holds barred. I like how part 5 is appearing to be the most raw part of JoJo yet. Can't wait to see how it ramps up the chaos and hectic energy or intensity, or however it goes from here on out.
Anthony?
So much, like, it was a lot to take in, but I very much enjoyed, like, what we got. Because we got introduced to Doppio, like his fight with Metallica, and the death of Bruno, all in those 3 episodes. And just like, wow, like I knew it was coming, but like just seeing it animated, and it felt like, wow, like that actually happened.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm with you guys. Great couple of episodes. Great fight. Emotional ending for sure. And oh man, we're not done with Hirohiko Araki's wild ride yet, because the next arc that comes through, it's a good one, and I can't wait to see how that goes. But that'll be for another episode, another time. Until that time, this has been the Anime Secrets JoJo's podcast. Thank you for joining us. Say goodnight, everyone.
Night.
Good night, everybody.